Alright, we've got a SteamOS beta update, a Baldur's Gate TV show announcement, Steam Typing Fest is now live, and we really need to talk about Borderlands 4 getting Steam Deck verified. Without further ado, let's jump in. First up, Valve just pushed a new Steam Deck client update to the preview and beta channels, and this isn't a massive update, but it does clean up a few annoying issues that some users have been running into. There was a bug that could cause Proton games to randomly show up as not valid on this platform, even though they worked fine before. That's now been fixed. Let me know if you've actually seen this before, because I've never seen it, but apparently it's an issue. They also cleaned up an intermittent error in the downloads menu that could pop up when moving games between scheduled and queued downloads. Nothing exciting, but definitely less friction. I've actually had to restart my deck a couple of times in the past due to this issue. The most meaningful Steam changes though are on Steam input side, especially for gyro users. There was an issue where gyro to joystick aiming wouldn't properly register unless you move the gyro way more than expected, and that's now been fixed, which should make it easier to match in-game dead zones. Now, Valve also added options for gyro remapping, letting you choose between per axis control or circular behavior, which gives you a bit more fine-tuning if you like dialing things in. On top of that, they fixed a bug where Switch Pro controller home LEDs could turn on when disabled, and another issue where ABXY button options could sometimes be missing from controller configs. So yeah, small tweaks, but good quality of life stuff overall. If you are on the beta branch, let me know how this update works for you. Next up, Baldur's Gate is officially getting a TV adaptation. Details are still very light right now. There's no casting, no release window, and no real idea of how closely it will follow the games. But we do know it's coming on HBO and it's being produced by Craig Mazin. That's the same guy that did The Last of Us. Now, I didn't finish The Last of Us Season 2 as it got really bad at some point, so I do hope this adaptation is better. If it's handled well, this could easily become another Fallout-style crossover moment where a TV show brings even more people into the games. For now though, it's very much a wait-and-see kind of situation, so I'm interested to know, do you think Baldur's Gate's many characters can fit into a TV show? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, Steam's Typing Fest is live right now and it runs through February 9th. This is probably not up all of our alleys, as it would be kind of impossible to play on the deck, but I wanted to mention it either way. This one is all about games that use typing as a core mechanic, whether that's fast-paced typing, high-pressure typing, or slower, cozy stuff like letter writing and word-focused puzzles. There are discounts and demos across the board, and even if typing games aren't usually your thing, it's worth checking it out. There's a surprisingly wide range of styles here. Now we need to talk about Borderlands 4 because it just received a Steam Deck verified badge, and I honestly couldn't agree less. According to Valve, the game is considered a great experience on Steam Deck. It has a good default controller layout, readable text, and working graphics preset. In practice though, the experience tells an entirely different story. You'll excuse me for not having actual footage of it. I refused to buy it because I knew it wouldn't run well on the Steam Deck. And out of the box, you only get two settings, quality and performance, and they both look and run almost the same. I will link to a Steam Deck HQ article in the description where Noah goes into a lot more detail of how the game runs performance-wise, but I do want to bring the focus back to the verified program. The Steam Deck verified badge carries weight, and in cases like this, it feels like the bar is set way too low. Almost as if Gearbox paid Valve for this badge. We've seen this in the past, and I know performance isn't one of the main criteria for getting verified, but it is kind of misleading for the end user. Steam really need to work on improving this program, and I know it could be difficult because they would need to re-evaluate 25,000 games if they made any changes to the criteria, but maybe the solution is to factor in user reviews that mention Steam Deck performance or have a separate review for Steam Deck performance. When I write a review on a game that I've tested on the Steam Deck, my main point is always about the performance, and if that's something you're in, shameless plug by the way, you could follow the SteamFlow curator page where I do Steam Deck specific performance breakdowns. Right now, I wouldn't recommend playing Borderlands 4 on the Steam Deck, and I would recommend to exercise more caution and less trust in the Steam Deck verified system. Now let me know, have you ever bought a game based on the verified badge and ended up being disappointed? If you have any examples, post them in the comments. Finally, let's talk about combo choice for February 2026, because this is actually a really solid month for Steam Deck owners. The bundle includes 8 games and nearly all of them are Steam Deck verified. Again, this really can't be trusted, so maybe watch some videos on how the games run. Highlights include Resident Evil Village, which is perfectly timed with the new Resident Evil coming later this month, along with Date Everything, Core Keeper, Steam World Build, and several others that should work well on the Steam Deck. Combo Choice costs $15 a month, you keep the games forever, and you can cancel it anytime. If you're only interested in one month, you can grab it and then bounce, but if you stick around, you also get store discounts. That's pretty much it for the Steam Deck news roundup today. Let me know what you think about Borderlands 4 getting verified, and if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel for more Steam and Steam Deck content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.